got out of his patrol car one night to make contact with some weirdo. He ends up, he gets shot a couple of times with an AR-15. Dude was laid out prone, boom, boom, hit Travis. Travis went down, and then slammed a couple more rounds into him. One of them traveled right up here and hit him in the perineum, or the taint for all the laymen. Right between his testicle and his anus, that's where the shot hit. He was awake and talking. His fellow officers came in. They saw all the blood going down his pants. They applied 2 SWAT team tourniquets to both extremities. They picked Travis up, they threw him into a patrol car. Travis was awake and talking. It was only about 1.5 miles from our premier trauma center in Phoenix. He was awake and talking, and then by the time they got to the trauma center, which I'm sure was like less than a minute, because I'm sure they drove like 100 miles an hour, Travis was out. They're banging on the back glass. The trauma team didn't even know they were coming. They get him inside, they throw him on the table, they're going through everything, they're pulling everything apart, and then they finally noticed that's where the injury is, but at that time it was already too late. Travis is dead. So my point to this is, now here's the deal. You take a 62 grain 223 at 2,400 feet per second right through this soft spot. Sorry, I don't know if there's any chance of survival. But if we were to address that injury the right way, we would have to pack that and then bandage it. Now, the real takeaway that I wanted to give you guys, it's cool that they went with bilateral tourniquets. I don't have any problem with that, and that's exactly what we're teaching right now, right? Blood on the pant leg, suspected, you're gonna get in there. Before, if this was Mark, I got those tourniquets on. Before I'm willing to call it a day, I'm looking down and I'm looking into his trousers. I'm trying to make sure that that injury is not actually proximal to where I put my tourniquets. That he actually doesn't have an injury somewhere in the package area, because those tourniquets obviously didn't mean anything. So, with that said, that was just a quick war story, and I'm going to show you where this bandage technique will work anywhere on the torso box. I think a lot of times we look at the pelvic gunshot wound as it's always front on. It doesn't have to be front on. Hell, I could be coming down the staircase and bad guy can go boom, 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 right? There's any number of things that can happen. And now where are the bullets flying? They're flying up in here. So, but for the purposes of right now, I'm just going to pretend that Mark has been hit, boom, right here. Now, real quick about, and when I say pelvic box again, I want us to think of the pelvis as a 3-dimensional area. I want us to, you know what I'm saying? Stop thinking about it just right on. So if I'm examining Mark, I'm getting in there. I'm looking at, everything in that region. So just for the purposes of instruction right now, I'm going to say it's right here. So I've packed it. I've held my pressure. Now, to me, I call this the Jesus bolt of injuries, right, in trauma medicine. The pelvis is so very vascular. There's so much going on in here. And you can bleed out a significant amount. So I would opt, if I could, to not put a bandage on this and just sit here like this until I meet the trauma surgeon that's going to get in there and fix it. And then I'm going to say, okay, you got it. But that's not always possible. So I'm going to have to bandage it. If I try to bandage him, sorry, buddy, I just hit you in the package. If I try to bandage him this way, I'm not going to be able to hold the pressure that I need right over that region. If I try to go, and I see guys try to go just around his leg right here, well, that bandage is going to slide down. So real quick about the tourniquets, and that was the point I was going to make. Anything from about where the crotch of the pants sits down and lower is a tourniquet amenable injury. If it's right here, I'm saying even if you might be able to get a tourniquet on it, but it probably should be managed through wound packing, and then maybe you could put a tourniquet over it. But as a rule, anything, if you're looking at the line I'm drawing, anything in this box is a pressure dressing and bandage, is wound packing and pressure dressing. So if you get in that questionable area, don't worry about your tourniquet. We're going to get in there and we're going to manually do this. So I've packed him. Let's say I've got all this packing protruding up here. That's cool. I'm going to come here. I'm going to put a knee on it. Now, to do this, hopefully my casualty has a belt on. If they don't have a belt, I'm going to build a belt with another bandage. So I'm basically just going to go around. We got these pelvic crests, right? The tops of our pelvis sit right here. I'm going to grab that region. I'm going to put that on as tight as I can in that region. Mark has a belt on, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make this belt just a little tighter. I wish I could go tighter than that. That's the final loop. That's good. Well, it's the final hold this way, not that way. If it was that way, you'd need to go to the gym. All right, so here's my packing. Now I'm just going to back up because I want you guys to see how I do this. All right, another thing about bandages real quick, I'm a big fan of the ones with Velcro in them. See what just happened? And I guarantee you, everyone's going to lose their bandage. These are only like $1.45 a piece. This is 4-inch. I actually prefer the bigger 6-inch, but for training, this is good and plenty good for us. But yeah, that's a good quality in a bandage. You don't have to buy these $12 H&H or Israelis or with all the cute little gizmos. Just good, dependable, has Velcro stoppers built into it, good to go. All right, here's my packing. I want to keep pressure here. So I'm going to use the belt, right? Come in here, and with anything we're tying, usually in pre-hospital medicine, we're going to go around once, and we're going to go around twice, and then tie it off. That is not going to come undone. You don't need to double knot it. I didn't do a double knot. I didn't do one knot, then another knot. I just went around once, twice, zipped it. So now from here, here's my injury. Boom, this is going right over the top. Now I can roll, Mark. Pull this tight, and I'm going to come up from back here. I'm basically doing the same thing I did up there, right? I built myself a leverage point, and now I'm just going to basically build a stirrup. Now his belt is not on tight enough. So what's going to kind of happen here is his trousers are going to kind of ride down. And I'm just going to keep going and going and going until I burn up all of this bandage. Now, let's say that Mark had the injury that cop I told you about did. All right, no biggie. Well, it is a big deal, but we can still manage that by using the same system. So now his injury is right here, right? Right below his, perineum. It's on his perineum. I got yelled at once. If you're saying it's unprofessional. Like, well, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go to this side. Follow me? Now I'll just loop through here. This is after I've packed it, I've overpacked it, and I'm just going to keep working it. So doing this system, which this system basically is comprised of building a belt, some sort of leverage point, and then thinking about where I want to apply my pressure, and then I can create this bandage. I can pick any point to do it. I'm going to, usually I complete this, and by the end he's like, oh, like the pressure is really good. I'm going to let you guys do that to each other, all right, rather than, can you feel it right there? And so if I really wanted to hop this up, I could take a SAM splint, right, crush that, and tuck that up underneath here on top of the packing, and now I can go over the SAM splints. That's just going to create more pressure. I can use an M4 Mac if I have one, an empty one. I can use, there's any host of things we can use to stick in there, hopefully something dense that will just, and now that material, and I like the SAM splint the best, I can wad that up, shove that underneath there, and now I'm just trying to concentrate on building pressure over the SAM splints. And for you guys that don't know what that is, we'll break one out here in a little bit. But that's basically it. Those are the bandages we use for the three junctional injuries, junctional areas. The subclavian, and then this pelvic box one. It's the same. Here we go. SAM splint. Right, moldable. Right, it's got it's foam. It's got a little piece of sheet metal. I can conform this. This is for extremity injuries, lower extremities. Well, not lower, like from the elbow down or the knee down. So I would just take this. If I had it. I'm gonna crush it down a little bit. That already created more pressure, right? And then I'm just going to back and forth. Again, I've got a blood clot working. I do not want it disturbed. I don't want it shaken. I don't want it being moved around. I'm building up massive amounts of pressure. These help aid in delivering that pressure and maintaining it and ensuring that that is not going to be disturbed. Okay, so everyone's got a bandage on them.